Good start. I also have a fat cat. His name's Skits. He's schizophrenic. He thinks that he can see the opening outside. He runs into my leg. You can't tell. I also like to tell dad jokes. I'm also not a father, but I wear this wardrobe so I can tell them. I know what you guys are thinking. This guy looks exactly like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. If he was fat, white, had a beard, a shitty haircut, a fucked up face, and lived at home with his parents, you'd be right. I also look like a bus driver. But really, I'm unemployed. I'm killing it so far. Went to college in Kaiser, West Virginia.
Me too!
Pot State?
Pot State?
Hey, Pot State, that's us. Did you drop out too?
Hell no! I wanted to!
If you did, you'd be up here on the stage.
It's better.
But as you would know, Kaiser is a town that's down in the valley, and up on the hill there's a bunch of windmills. We used to party up at the windmills, and we'd be up there drinking, smoking, listening to music. We'd always listen to bands like Iron Maiden and Black Sabbath. Not because any of us were into that music, but man, those windmills, they're big metal fans. I'm on fire.
Great.
Whoever said it's great, I love it.
That's a good one.
Let's get some groans sometime. Here's another. Yeah. I'm gonna keep telling jokes until I'm done. That's basically. He didn't give me a time. He said 5 minutes. He said 8 minutes. I'm gonna get 35. We'll see. 3? I hope not. My time's almost up. Okay. I had a director friend named Morgan. He had written a screenplay. He decided he was going to direct it himself. And while directing the movie, my friend Morgan started to go blind, and nobody knew what was wrong with him, so he saw a doctor. And after many tests over multiple days and many, many hours to figure out why my friend Morgan was going blind, the doctor came to me with the conclusion. He said, "Sean, your director friend, he's developing a film in his eyes." There's a lot of different sayings in the English language, but if there's one saying everyone here needs to remember is that you can lead a horse to water, but you probably shouldn't fuck them. I drove an hour for this. Fucking worth it. I went to Michigan at Penn State football game when I was 13. We knew some of the coaches at Michigan. And they gave me a bunch of Michigan gear. I wore a Michigan jacket there. And I remember I went to the bathroom, and on my way back to my seat, a Penn State fan, some drunk guy, spit on me, which sucked, but definitely not the worst thing to happen to a kid in that stadium.
Oh, man.
Cool. I read a book called Born Standing Up. It's Steve Martin's book. And in there, he quotes a comic that says, if you're ever having a bad set as an open micer, that the one thing you should do is try and make the waitresses laugh, which is a good philosophy because they'll always see your sets. Unfortunately, though, that comic was Bill Cosby. And if the waitresses didn't laugh, I don't even have to finish the joke. You guys get it. I used to be a co-manager of an 84 Lumber in Elkins, West Virginia. And I was the youngest guy there. All my employees were much older than I was. And I had this thin, anemic-looking fellow there named Vinny. And Vinny had a wife that was way out of his league. And Vinny came to me one day. He said, "Sean, I've been cheating on my wife. What should I do?" I'm not the guy to ask. But I thought about it for a second, and I said, "Vinny, when we frame houses, we don't use screws, we use nails. We don't use screws because when the framing shifts, the screws will snap. We use nails because nails are meant to bend. And he looked at me funny for a second. He said, "Sean, what does that have to do with anything?" I said, "Vinny, if you keep screwing other women, I'm going to nail your wife." My other jokes work better. I like to go hunting. A lot of people have a problem with hunting, but West Virginia is arguably one of the biggest deer hunting states there is. They have a problem with the idea of shooting animals, and I get that. But those people don't understand the atrocities happening in the deer community. So let me learn you guys something. There's 3 main types of deer in North America. The first one's the mule deer. It's kind of a neutral deer. But then there's the black and the white-tailed deer. The black-tailed deer are all located in the Pacific Northwest, mainly in Alaska. And then the white-tailed deer are everywhere else. Coast to coast, they dominate. They're a deer we have here in West Virginia that shit in your yard, jump out in front of your car. But I think most importantly, the white-tailed deer have completely segregated from the black-tailed deer, and I think it's fucked up. It's 2021. I thought mammals realized segregation was bad 60 years ago. But you confront these white-tailed deer about it, and they have the nerve to give you a deer in the headlights look. Cool. There's some philosophies in deer hunting that you should pass on smaller bucks and let them grow to be a lot bigger and bear more children. I don't agree with that philosophy. It doesn't fix the previous problem. If you think about it, the saddest part in the movie Bambi for a long time was the fact that Bambi's mother died. Turns out the saddest part of that movie is that Bambi didn't get shot, that racist fuck. My name's Sean Bishop.
Yeah. Woo.
That is my name, thank you. This guy's a fan of me already.
I like this guy. He's good.
I have a goal in life to be the most famous Sean Bishop. And it's fortunate because there's not many of us. Because if you think about it, in 1981, the number 2 overall draft pick in the NBA draft was a guy by the name of Isaiah Thomas. In 1989, a woman in Washington State decided to name her son after him. How fortunate am I that they weren't named Sean Bishop? Because my dream would have ended the moment I got cut from the 6th grade basketball team. Luckily for me, I just have to be more famous than actor Sean Bishop. Exactly. Who the fuck is that guy? Turns out he's famous for one movie role where he played the eldest son of the main character in the 1977 classic, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Which means right now as an open mic comic, I'm second to a guy that's been out of work for 44 years. If you think about it, if all of you guys leave here tonight and can remember the name Sean Bishop, I will be the most famous Sean Bishop right in front of a guy that I can only assume is a homeless man on the streets of Hollywood that once played a side character in a movie about communicating with aliens. And I hate alien movies. Alien movies are always about I don't like you. I'll take it. I deserve it. You'll agree with me after this. It's good. It's a joke. I fucked this out a few times. Okay. I don't like alien movies because they're always about can humans communicate with aliens. What we should actually be worried about is can the aliens communicate with spiders? If the aliens just show up and decide to kill off the human race, it turns out aliens are a bunch of racists. But if they can speak spider, it turns out I'm the racist. I don't know if you guys have heard of this Hitler fellow, but let me drop some numbers on you. He's famous for this thing called the Holocaust, where he killed 66% of the Jews in Europe. I've killed 100% of the spiders I've ever fucking seen. So if the aliens do speak spider, that means I'm going to be the dickhead in every alien history book that tried to wipe an entire species off this planet. But if a spider genocide makes me the new Hitler, I'll own it. Because every single one of you knew who Hitler was. Not a damn one of you knew who actor Sean Bishop was. Like a fucking win. Hey, thank you guys. That's my time. Have a good fucking day.